So these are all of the tools that we will need to be able to complete our experiment.
The ingredients that you will need for this experiment are a colorless or clear sports drink, clear dish soap or shampoo, meat tenderizer or pineapple juice, some small plastic cups, a clear glass jar, a marker, some stirring rods, and isopropyl alcohol that has been chilled for at least an hour.
And I've already labeled the cup meat tenderizer so that way I don't get my solutions mixed up. The instructions said about a tablespoon of meat tenderizer to a half a cup of water. Since I'm using these small cups, I'm just kind of guesstimating and hopefully it will work out okay. So I'm just gonna add some water and then I'm gonna use one of my stirring rods. It's kind of a cloudy off-white liquid, but we want to label it and we'll just set it aside. Our next step is we're gonna make our soap solution. I also have this cup labeled and we're gonna use our clear dish soap or clear shampoo. Our solution should be about a tablespoon of soap to 3 tablespoons of water. This is where we'll be using our colorless sports drink or our salt solution depending on what sample you're working with and of what materials you have available. Now you need to take a drink of your sports drink, hold it in your mouth and swish it around for about 30 seconds. And then you want to spit the contents of your mouth into your DNA sample cup. So that was 30 seconds. And you can see why labeling your cups is important because at this point all of our clear liquid solutions look very similar and we would not want to mix those up. So now our next step is going to be to mix all of our solutions together. Now, this is where our clear jar comes in really handy. So the first thing we're going to add to our clear jar is our DNA sample, our saliva solution. And we're going to pour this into our clear jar. Then we're going to add our soap solution and our meat tenderizer. And the meat tenderizer, you only want to add about half of it. And you want to add about the same amount of soap solution that you added your DNA sample. So for us, it's about half of this little cup. We're going to put our lid on our container and gently swirl our solution for about a minute. We don't want to stir it really aggressively or shake it up. We don't want to break up the DNA strands because they're extremely fragile, and if we stir them or shake them too aggressively, we'll just end up with clumps instead of long, beautiful strands. So we're just stirring, we're just shaking this really gently, swirling it to be able to mix our solution well, so that way all of our ingredients can work together. So we're gonna do that for about a minute and we'll be back. So now it's time for our last step. In this step, we use the isopropyl alcohol to help separate our DNA strands from our solution, because DNA is soluble in water, but it is not in isopropyl alcohol. So hopefully what we'll see is our DNA sample rise to the top and everything else stay below. So in order to do this, I'm gonna carefully remove the lid so we don't spill anything. And you wanna make sure that you very, very gently pour this as close to down the side as you can. So I'm gonna tilt the jar just a little bit so that way we're not creating a lot of splash or mixing things up too much. You want to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of alcohol and try not to spill it or get it in any open wounds or cuts on your hands because it will burn. We're going to let that sit for about another minute and then we'll come back and check it out. So as you can see here, where the small bubbles are in the lower layer of the solution. So our top clear layer, that's the alcohol sitting on top of the water. And the lower layer is our soap and other saliva material. The bubbles that you can see here are what's attached to our DNA. We are starting to see some bubbles forming. We're going to take a new clean wooden skewer and we're going to swirl it around in our solution. And again, you want to be really gentle that you're not stirring too aggressively because you can break what strands we have here. So we're just going to dip right into that and give it a swirl. Kind of like you would wind pasta around your fork. So as you can see here, this is many, many thousands of strands of my DNA. It's the white kind of cloudy look that's attached to my skewer here. And they've kind of unraveled and they've got that really gentle, soft curve to them that we've talked about. So that's my DNA.
So after you've finished your experiment, you might want to think about some of your results and why we got them. And then you want to make sure that you clean up your mess and thoroughly wash and dry everything. You can go ahead and pour all of your extra ingredients down the drain unless you'd like to do more DNA experiments with things like fruit, so strawberries, anything that smashes up really easily, or you can put things in the blender and extract DNA from them. I would ask that you refrain from trying to collect DNA samples from your younger siblings or your pets. Thank you and have a great day.